So the last speaker of the first half is Alexandra Ljimani from the University Hospital of Düsseldorf. So she is currently the chair of renal MRI.org and the vice chair of the European Society of Urogenital Radiology Working Group on Renal Imaging. The title of her talk is Transformation of Renal Imaging from PARENCHIMA to renalmri.org. Alexandra, I will hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you for a kind introduction and especially for the invitation to present our network today as well. And I think it's actually a nice package, because our first talk was also about a network which was founded by Cost Action. And so our network started, so I want to go in advance, started with a Cost Action as well. And it is an experience how to maintain things for further. Just a moment. Yeah, I have nothing to disclose. And just to a background why we started this network, we know that kidney diseases are really rising in the last decades. So now the statistics say that it is like 10% of the world's population is having a chronic kidney disease. And despite of all the medical progress which we had in the last decades, the prevalence and also the mortality by chronic kidney diseases is rising, probably to older getting world population, and which is really interesting that the outcome of the patient doesn't improve in the last years, and of course causing enormously costs worldwide for the health systems. Why is it like that? Well, we know from several studies that now currently the therapy of chronic kidney diseases is simply starting too late. So we know the earlier we start with the therapy in every disease, the better we can improve the outcome of the patient. And now in the chronic kidney diseases, we start our therapies when the kidney function is really starting to decline. And so we're just trying to push this stone up the hill. It isn't not how it should work. So what is really missing at the moment in or was missing in renal research were biomarkers, how we can monitor patients at risk, so we can therapy them simply earlier. And this is what was the idea of a group of people like some years ago. And so we decided to form an network of people having a common goal to provide like a central point in the networks which were presented before, a central point where the community making research on this topic can bring the knowledge together and to speed up the whole process and to translate the research quicker into the clinical practice. So we decided to have a pass, which started with a network which I want to present a little bit further, and to have this goal of clinical routine biomarkers in renal imaging. It all started, as I said earlier, with a Cost Action. So our network was also only successful in a second round, so don't worry. It seems to be it's a really competitive application. So we were happy to get our funding in 2016, and so in April 2017 we launched our network and call it PARENCHIMA. And before the meeting, so after our first attempt was rejected, we still had a meeting with our community. So it was growing already. So probably in the second round, it was a little bit more round. for the application. Our network were also divided in 5 working packages, which had to deal with standardization, to make the availability of the knowledge a little bit, to provide it. Also, we had some working package on training programs for upcoming students, and of course, like for the whole community network. So at the end of PARENCHIMA, we had 30 countries included in this network, and a mailing list consisting of 250 people. And during the whole PARENCHIMA process, we had 12 different workshops on different topics for the students, and also like to spread the knowledge among each other. And also we developed an series of international meetings on renal imaging. So every 2 years, I want just to show you some pictures of this great meetings which we have in between during the process, and it helped a lot to build up this network. And during these meetings, we developed also some outcome of the project. So one of the outcome is also in the other cost action, which was presented earlier. We had then first of all a review of all the topics existing for this special research topic. And out of this reviews, we had an idea to make to develop technical recommendations on how to apply this techniques, so that everybody in the institution could make it on their devices without help, or without making a lot of work, so that the work or research that people want to do in this area can be just push the field further, and not develop the things that already exist. One of the output was also a book about preclinical MRI in the kidney, and finally, as I saw, the series of biannual meetings. And as Corona hit our community as well, and this is perhaps a small small idea for the Glimmer MRI network, is that we have a possibility to extend our funding for 1 further year. So actually the PARENCHIMA action should end up with 2020, and then we had an extension for 1 year more due to pandemics. And so finally, the end of this project was actually this last meeting in September 2021, which were already founded by ESMM as well. And due to pandemics, we had like 2 meetings. It was also a great experience for us, a kind of hybrid meeting, because the people from US weren't allowed to cross the ocean due to still ongoing pandemic. So we have a meeting in Philadelphia, which was founded actually by ESMM, and a meeting in Portugal, which was founded by the cost action, and had like internet connection between the meetings, so we could exchange the talks. Now, finally, as I told you, PARENCHIMA was over in September, October 2021. And so the idea was, how can we maintain this network? And so we decided to transform this PARENCHIMA cost action network to an informal network called renalmri.org, which I'm currently chairing till the end of the year, and then we will rotate. So Dr. Pim Pullens from Ghent will become the next chair, and I will rotate to the past chair. And we are, at the moment, we are not searching, because we vote on our next vice chair, and the vote is call for the vote is now circulated. Also, like at the home pages and all the stuff are founded by cost as well. So we had to transform our homepage so we don't lose our mailing list to a free and available for everyone homepage. So we transformed our homepage completely to a GitHub homepage as well, which my previous talk was presented. So it's a free homepage and can be, everybody can contribute on that. So this is in QR code, and if you are interested in renal MRI, please feel free to sign for that. And also, which were what we are especially proud of, is that the work didn't finish at that point when we transformed to this informal network. And we just launched last month a book on clinical renal MRI, which is published by Springer. So perhaps a nice Christmas present as if anybody is searching for the ideas for your laboratory. And also, which is really great, we manage without having any money left to have an next. So we still keeping this biannual series of the meetings. So we have now, we had just in September a great meeting in Ghent in Belgium. And where I personally was really proud of that a lot of new people who were not part of this cost action joined in as well. And so we couldn't offer any traveling grants and anything, but still there were a big amount of people coming in. So the interest and the network is doing the really great job. And also we have already the location for our next meeting in 2025 in Pamplona in Spain. We had also several applications for this meeting and voted on the next location, and Pamplona won. So we are looking forward to that. So if you're interested, keep in touch with our network and for further information. So to sum up, the membership in renalmri.org is free at the moment. And if you are interested, so simply write us an email or scan the QR code, and we will put you on our newsletter list, which is, we have once 2 months, as depending on what is going on, we distribute these newsletters. And what was also an outcome of the PARENCHIMA network is that we could bring in this idea of renal research also in radiological or MRI societies. So we established a working group in ESMM. And a working group within the ESO. ESO is, if somebody not familiar with this, is an European Society for Uroradiology. I just present a little bit on this working group. So the starting governing company exists of people who were part of the PARENCHIMA project, and now we have also new people coming in. So I'm not the part since September. I'm not the part of this governing committee anymore, but still in touch with all the people there. And so I think it's really important also within of such a network to have this interdisciplinary. So that is what this network is living from, because usually my radiological colleagues are not so often going to ESMM meetings, and on the other side, people doing basic research on MRI are not so often going to radiological meetings. So renalmri.org is at this point a kind of to bring the people, this not only these two groups but also nephrologists, so clinicians, to bring them all together and to keep it low from the not to have fees to come in and everything like that. And also for the ESOR, as I mentioned before, it was clear to us that we need to be part of a radiological society to have still this clinical input. And this is why we contacted ESOR and yeah, we're happy to get a working group within of this society. So now, where do we stand now? We have like the end of PARENCHIMA and since 2 years, the beginning of renal-MRI.org. And now the goal is to establish multi-center studies because people know each other. You're always working simpler, or the border is lower to work with people you know. And this is working really well within of renal-MRI.org. So we have on our homepage an area where we collect the multicenter studies, and these multicenter studies which are currently going on are all initiated by several centers which were former part of PARENCHIMA. So research is still going on, and of course we are really proud of having this great network and to see new people coming in, and to see that still, because of all this efforts, so the people are not paid, they're not paid for traveling anymore, and everything which is going with this, are still enthusiastic and doing their work. And this, I want to thank you for the attention and hope I was not too long with, yeah, we are still in shadow.